Can I eat this guilt-free? Can I eat this and still feel good about my journey? And if the answer is no, then I'm like, I'm not going to eat it because I don't want to feel guilt. And I do like chocolate. I do like wine. I don't feel guilt when I have them. So this is a topic that I love, and it's about raising our personal standards. And why I love it is because it just makes life so much more simple. It makes weight loss, weight release so much more simple. It takes the guesswork out of it. And so what I mean by standards is knowing how you want to feel in your body, knowing what's important to you and why it's important. So being aware of your goal, your vision for your body, and then doing things that line up with that vision as often as possible. Of course, we're going to miss the mark. Of course, we're going to do things that don't. But I'll share an example. So when I used to want to lose weight, I wasn't really aware of the standard idea. And I was just like, yeah, I want to lose weight, but like, I wasn't really in the front of my mind. And then I would drive past Tim Hortons and I'd be like, oh, I would just love the taste of like a sour cream glazed Timbit or donut. And I love that hot chocolate because it's so sweet. And at the bottom, it's all thick. And I love the end of the hot chocolate. So I would have this willpower battle. Literally, you know how many, if you live in Calgary, Tim Hortons are around. So I would literally have this willpower battle a couple times a day. And it was like half the time my cravings would win, half the time my mind would say, no, don't do it. And it was like the angel devil, like, because I knew I didn't feel good after I ate it. I knew it didn't align with my weight loss goals. I knew I'd probably end up craving more sugary stuff after I had the hot chocolate and the Timbit. So it was like, I knew it wasn't good for me, but I still did it a lot of the time. And so over the years, why I share this is I started to, instead of being like, I can't have a donut, I can't have a hot chocolate, it was like, I raised the standard for myself of how I want to feel, how I want to look, how I want to perform. And by raising the standard, it just got to the point where I was like, I drive past a Tim Hortons at least once a day now. And there's not even iota of like, I want to go get a Tim Hortons hot chocolate. Like not a donut, not a hot chocolate, like nothing, because I just don't feel good when I do it. And I'm not saying like, look at me, I don't have Tim Hortons, but like, I like their coffee, whatever, but I just don't feel good when I eat their donuts. And so I've raised my standard. I want to feel light. I want to feel energized. I want to feel healthy. I want to have a good stomach. I get really bad gas if I have too much like wheat and gluten. I get a reaction on my skin, which just doesn't look nice when I eat gluten. So there's like all these things that just don't align. So I want you to think for yourself, what's your standard of how you want to feel and look? Maybe write a couple words. Like I put light, I put ease. I want to have ease in my life. I want to feel light. I want to feel a lot of really good energy. And so another example I'll share, I want to have energy this afternoon to accomplish some things for my career, for like, I want to do like some marketing and I want to make some videos. And so if I eat, let's say white rice and sushi for lunch, I know when I eat sushi, white rice, I get a big energy burst. And then like 45 minutes later, I just want to have a nap. I just feel so tired. But if I have like quinoa and some veggies and some chicken, I'll have a nice afternoon of sustained energy. So I'm not going to have sushi at lunch. I might have it on Friday night with my husband or something because I don't need to be clear and productive after that. But because I want to, my standard this afternoon is I need to have high energy and all that, that's going to decide what I eat for lunch. It's not because I have to lose weight or I don't want to be fat or any of those things. It's because I want to feel amazing this afternoon and energized. And it's a different energy that kind of pulls me to want to make a nice lunch and be energized. So that's another example. So I want you to think, put in the chat, what's like, how do you most want to feel in your body? What are a couple words? Adjectives, verbs? I'm so bad with, I don't know what they're called. Descriptive word. It's not a verb, is it, Sherry? You guys are probably all way better at English than me. What's a couple words to describe how you want to feel in your body? I think it's adjective. Yeah, Sharon put light and energetic. Beautiful. Those are so good. And usually, if you're kind of having trouble, think about how you don't like feeling. Like, I don't like feeling bloated and lethargic and heavy, and then think of what's the opposite of that. So sometimes it's if you can't think of the high vibe word, you can think of what you don't want to feel, and then what's the opposite of that. So yeah, Sherry put energized, happy, calm inside, effervescent. Ooh, that's a cool word. Light and energetic. So now I want you to think specific to food. We could do this with every area of your life, literally, but let's just talk about food. So thinking about your food choices in the last few days, your food choices today, I want you to put in the chat, what's a food that you know that makes you feel not that way, but you do like it and you crave it sometimes. And maybe you've eaten it recently. Yeah, like maybe it's for me, would be donuts. For me, it would be like a really sugary hot chocolate, because it would be so yummy in the moment, but then I'd get the crash that comes within a 45 minutes later. For me, like a lot of white rice at one time would make me feel pretty good for about half an hour. And then I'd start to feel like, oh, like I need a nap. Like I'm just having a carb crash. So Christy put sugar. Yeah, anything that's like really sugary. Baking. Yeah, Sherry put baking. So yeah, being aware of that. And then on the flip side, what's something that when you eat it, it just nourishes you. It just gives you stable energy. You feel good. Your digestive system's happy. You just feel like good after you eat it. You know, you probably could put a million things, but put something that you just know, yeah, this is good too. Susan put, yes, not knowing is a problem. Yeah. And that's why I highly recommend a food journal, a food log, because then you can be like, I have like terrible gas, or like, I feel like so bloated right now. And then you can go back and be like, oh, I ate that at lunch and that must not be sitting well. I found out that pork makes me really farty. Don't know why, but I feel so bad after I eat pork. So I didn't figure that out on my own until I started actually keeping a food log and then being like, what am I so gassy? So anyway, that's another good benefit for a food log. Yeah, what makes you feel good? Protein and veggies. Sherry put chicken and salad and oranges. Ooh, I like that, so specific, oranges. Yeah, a nice salad with lots of veggies and some berries. Yeah, so that's a good awareness of what would make you feel good. And then the other piece of it is, so what to eat to make you feel light and energized and all those great words. And then I don't like to demonize food. So it's not like you could never have bread or never have a donut or never have sugar or never have baking. The next piece is a quantity thing. So I find if I have a small piece of, a small cookie or some chocolate, some dark chocolate, or I make, a hot chocolate, but I make it with healthier ingredients and I use honey to sweeten it or something, I can have it and still enjoy it, and it doesn't have that negative impact. So not only looking at what to eat to kind of raise your standard, but how much. So just take a moment to think about that, because like I could have a couple pieces of pizza and feel pretty okay and have a little salad on the side. But if I had like half a pizza, like 4 pieces and no salad, then I'd probably feel like pretty bloated and farty, and like it just wouldn't be as good. So think about the amount as well, because pizza in itself, I don't think it's bad. I think if we eat only pizza with no vegetables, and we might just end up feeling heavy at the end. I was going to share this. One of the clients that took this course a long time ago, she said, this reminds me of an analogy. I could either eat and feed my body like I'm a temple, or I could feed my body like I'm a garbage dump. And that simplified it for her. And she's like, I'm just going to keep trying to think about feeding myself like I matter, like I'm valuable, like I'm a temple, not a garbage disposal. And it really helped her. Just so think for yourself, maybe what's an analogy that might help you. So yeah, when I feed my body like someone who deserves and is worthy of feeling light and energized. Yeah. And then if you feed yourself those nourishing things, and especially if you give yourself, like if you love chocolate, like find a healthy alternative that's more nourishing, but then you won't have those cravings as much either. And then there's not as much room for the junk because you're filling up on the good stuff. So yeah, Christy put in the chat, nothing tastes as good is how fit feels. That's a cool way to look at it too. So I want you to take something from this call. What's a way of encapsulating this idea of having a higher standard for yourself with food? It doesn't have to be, I'm a temple. It doesn't have to be, nothing tastes as good as fit feels if that doesn't resonate. Just thinking about that idea of like the standards, because think about a vegetarian. They don't have a hard time deciding not to eat meat. They don't have a willpower battle. They're just like, go to a barbecue. Hey, do you want a hamburger? No, thanks. Like I have brought my own salad, or I have a veggie burger to fry up or whatever. I'm not saying vegetarian's better than meat, but I'm just saying they don't have this willpower battle. You know, my sister-in-law is pregnant. When we're having all wine, she's not like, oh, should I have a couple glasses of wine? She's like, no, I'm good. Like I'm pregnant. And it takes the willpower out of it. So that's why I like the standards, because it takes the willpower out of it. I don't have to have this willpower battle at Tim Hortons every day because I've, over the last few years, raised my standard and I don't want to feel yucky and lethargic and unwell. That's just not how I do life. I don't want to be there anymore. And so it's not a willpower battle. Is this tracking?